This is the holy grail of the occult knowledge, of the cycle of creation and discretion of our subjective reality. Many people know we are the creators of our own lives, but they don't understand how. If we want to change the reality we experience, we then must be familiar with decisions.
We create our life playground with decisions and identities. Decisions are outside of this universe. They come from the void, the quantum vacuum, but they start energetic processes in being to initiate and to create something. They are called alpha or first decision. Its main characteristic is movement toward a goal and intention to attain it. As we attempt to achieve our goals and fulfill our desires, we often run into barriers and experience defeat or difficulties. In moments like those, we often make so called decisions of defeat or beta decisions. That decision of defeat cannot destroy the first primary decision because it is part of Atman or spiritual being. From that moment on, those two decisions, the initial one and the decision of defeat, exist opposed to each other and create an unpleasant emotional seesaw until they are integrated.
For example, a man decides to propose to a woman and is rejected. At the moment of rejection, he is likely to create an unconscious decision similar to relationship with women can hurt. What we have now are two conflicting decisions, each pushing in opposite direction. Neither his initial alpha decision to have a relationship, nor the opposite beta decision to keep away from relationships to avoid hurt would yield. When he's away from women, he thinks about them, he desires them, and when he's about to get closer to one, he feels anxious, insecure, and wants to move away. When a baby experiences a difficult delivery, the baby may make an unconscious decision similar to life is dangerous, I should stay safe. The fact that the baby is in preverbal stage will not prevent it from making decisions. The decision to stay safe because life is dangerous will reflect across many aspects of life. A person like this may only feel relatively safe when staying at home. They will be careful not to stand out in any situation, not to take any initiative, not to stand up for themselves, and so on. Later in life, many other similar decisions of defeat will emanate from this initial decision. The fact is that this baby will still want to experience life to its fullest, but this will be in conflict with the decision of defeat made during difficult delivery. Now, why do we make decisions of defeat? For two reasons. The first one is to understand what happened to us. Not understanding, not having a pattern, in ancient times resulted in death. Our ancestors ensured survival in that way. And second, to solve problems, to prevent the same outcome in the future. How decisions of defeat solve problems? When a child exposed to humiliation makes a decision to withdraw, to be a withdrawn person, he feels better because he unconsciously perceives that making this decision protects him from both the ongoing and future humiliation. The problem is that the first decision to get praise is not vanished. They exist opposite to each other. The charge around them will create polarization that will manifest as something out of his control. I worked with a man, well-known basketball player, and during our session, one specific situation came up as relevant for his problem. He was playing basketball in high school, and coach yelled at him, and he began crying. His teammates started making fun of him. To deal with this problem, he concluded that expressing emotions leads to humiliation. So he made a decision of defeat to avoid humiliation, and he assumed the identity of closed off person. He came to me because of relationship problems. He couldn't find the right woman. And although he tried, he couldn't maintain relationship long term. Of course he couldn't, because he was unable to express his emotions and show his affection, as every time that identity of closed-off person would activate, as its unconscious goal to avoid humiliation is threatened. The problem wasn't that he didn't find the right woman. The problem was in his unconscious decision. As we can see from this example, decisions we made in the past can manifest in different life areas, although they hadn't been created there. That's why when we dissolve one problem, we dissolve the whole structure based on it, although that wasn't the initial starting point. The most valuable parts of the session is when a client makes the unconscious decision conscious and becomes aware how his reality was created, and therefore restores his ability to change it. Nothing that exists is random. Everything makes perfect sense, even the unwanted reality you are experiencing. In the human being, there is a net of conflicted decisions, which is the skeleton of personality. And that personality causes what we call fate. So, how emotional release systems solve our problems? By integrating unconscious decisions, by making them conscious, we integrate polarities, internal conflicts. And then, by identifying the initial decision, we also integrate one or more polarities caused by the initial decision. In order to have a lasting therapeutic result, we must integrate unconscious decisions. All other elements of charge that exist in our unconscious, images, thoughts, emotions, and body sensations, emanate from decisions, are kept in existence by decisions, and will vanish once we make decisions conscious or integrate them. And this is how transformation happens. This is the true law of manifestation, of creation, macrocosm and microcosm. And this is how you can truly, deeply, and fundamentally change your reality. This is something that you can learn on my seminars and trainings or experience in if you sign up for one of my programs where we work both on goals, problems, identities, and identifying the initial decisions that cause polarization.